Throughout the 20th century, the Hale telescope was the world's most advanced land-based telescope of its time, but was unable to capture the most accurate images due to the distortion caused by the Earth's atmosphere. In 1946, astronomer Lyman Spitzer discussed the advantages of developing a space-based telescope in his paper, Astronomical Advantages of an Extraterrestrial Observatory. With the ideas from Spitzer and the astronomical discoveries of scientist Edwin Hubble, NASA set out a mission to build the most advanced space telescope in 1983. In 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope was launched, starting a new era for scientists to explore deeper into space to discover new galaxies and stars. After the launch of the Hubble telescope, NASA was able to use high-resolution photos to make advancements in astronomy. These photos inspired other astronomers to explore more of our universe than ever before.
Throughout the 1900s, there were several land-based telescopes, but the most powerful of which was the Hale telescope. Built in the 1930s, the Hale telescope was not finished until 1940. This land-based telescope could be used to discover and explore astronomical marvels with visual evidence, such as spiral galaxies, elliptical galaxies, and irregular galaxies. The Hale telescope uses a 200-inch, 14.5-ton curved mirror, a stroke of engineering genius. This mirror is used to take pictures to explore the universe. A mirror similar to this would later be used on the Hubble telescope. But even with a very powerful telescope like the Hale, scientists could not break through the haze caused by the dust and debris in Earth's atmosphere.
Basically, the atmosphere. It has several effects. First of all, it acts as a filter. We know that from greenhouse gases, for instance. And it filters out most of the ultraviolet light, most of the infrared. It has a dimming effect. Light is passing through a lot of air, and that reduces the intensity of the signal. And finally, the atmosphere moves. And when it does, it causes the light to shift just a little bit. And that's the reason stars twinkle when you look up in the sky.
To solve this problem, Lyman Spitzer, director of Princeton University Observatory, considered the possibility of sending a telescope into low orbit around the Earth. In 1946, Spitzer wrote a paper talking about a space observatory entitled Astronomical Advantages of an Extraterrestrial Observatory. Spitzer would spend the next 50 years of his life trying to make his space observatory a reality, and was a key individual in the creation of the Hubble telescope, often lobbying his ideas to the scientific community. Spitzer would also help make its unique design.
The Hubble telescope was designed in 1970 alongside the Space Shuttle Discovery. This helped the Hubble telescope dramatically due to the fact that it was able to be built specifically for easy future access and repair missions. Officials at NASA knew that the Hubble Space Telescope would require many upgrades available to it throughout its lifespan. The design of the Hubble telescope greatly helped engineers to successfully launch the telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope was launched on April 24, 1990, and is still known as the most advanced space telescope. With one of the strongest mirrors in the world, with 7.9 feet diameter, it is so precise that the largest bump on the mirror is 1/800,000th of an inch, less than the width of a human hair. In order to take a picture, Hubble must be incredibly still and lock onto something that is equivalent to looking at the width of a human hair over a mile away. On May 20th, 1990, NASA held a press conference to display the first image ever taken by Hubble at Goddard Space Center in Washington, D.C. When the image was presented, the public was very displeased. One member of the press asked, "Is this how it's supposed to look?" The poor quality of the images being released was due to a minor flaw in the mirror the size of 1/1,000,000th of an inch, distorting the image produced by Hubble. Almost immediately after the launch, Hubble was reported as the laughingstock of the world, earning it the moniker of NASA's $1.5 billion blunder. This failure was severely disappointing to the scientific community.
I was horrified. We've been looking forward to this for quite a long time. I'd been involved in other space telescopes, and we were expecting great results. To have it get up there and have a problem and not give us the views that we were expecting was very disappointing.
But even with the distortion in the first images, the resolution was 50% more clear than the same picture taken by one of the world's most powerful land-based telescopes. Astronomers continued to work using the Hubble Space Telescope in exploring new celestial bodies. 3 years later, the imperfection in Hubble's mirror was fixed during its first service mission, which went flawlessly due to Hubble being built precisely for the space shuttle.
I'll never forget it. I mean, I'll remember the birth of my 2 kids and the night we saw the first image from Hubble. We're all huddled around the screen. And I'll never forget when that screen lit up and first appeared a little dot right in the center. And that by itself was good news because there was no fuzz around it.
With the Hubble telescope in use, many scientists saw little use for the Hale telescope. It is now mainly controlled and used by multiple universities, including the Carnegie Institution of Washington, D.C. With the power of the Hubble telescope, it is still able to take detailed pictures of celestial bodies millions of light years away. Hubble can take around 1,400 pictures a second for 3 weeks straight. These pictures are later organized by a computer and given color by an artist's rendition. The pictures taken by Hubble are then not only provided to the scientific community, but also released to the public, encouraging many to take up amateur astronomy, furthering mankind's understanding of space. Because of this access, amateur astronomers have independently explored and even helped to document the deaths of stars and new spiral galaxies. The Hubble telescope served as a launching point for all other space telescopes, leading to the most recent, the James Webb Telescope. Set to be finished in 2018, many space telescopes are based off of the Hubble's technology, but focus in different spectrums of light. For example, the Spitzer telescope was built in 2003 with the purpose of exploring in infrared, specifically using Hubble's original design with a few added modifications. The Planck telescope, built by the European Space Agency, mapped the entire background of the universe by viewing microwaves instead of the visual spectrum of light, which would not have been possible without the advancements from Hubble.
The last repair to Hubble was made in 2008, without further repairs due to NASA's cancellation of the Space Shuttle program in 2011. Hubble's orbit is expected to slowly decay and spiral down into Earth's atmosphere, ending its reign over the skies in 8 to 10 years. Ironically, Hubble was originally planned to be brought back to Earth to be put on display, but the telescope managed to survive longer than the Space Shuttle. But with the death of Hubble has led to new generation of space-based telescopes, like the James Webb Telescope, which is under construction to succeed Hubble. Inspired by Hubble's original engineering genius, the James Webb has been modified to explore further and broader than ever before by using 18 smaller, modified versions of Hubble's mirror to see infrared light and has the potential to see 92 billion light-years away. Set to launch in 2018, the James Webb will take new risks, as it will be placed 1.5 million kilometers from Earth to limit the effect that the reflection from the sun and moon will have, creating better images, which will also make this $8.7 billion telescope unreachable for further repair. These advancements would be impossible if it was not for the technological advancements of the Hubble telescope, which permitted scientists to see outer space without the interference of Earth's atmospheric distortion for the first time, setting a new precedent regarding how astronomical data is collected.